Today is October 20th, 2023, and this is your Friday planning video. Quick location update. We're still in Israel. Continue to be careful and safe. We do have reservations to leave here early Tuesday morning. Please continue to pray for the success of the IDF and for peace. Today, I want to hit a few details about a topic that we'll be talking about a lot, the Roth IRA. Before I even say another word, please note that I don't give personal tax advice, but I do hope to work closely with your tax advisor to examine this and all the tax issues to determine what's best for your specific situation. Now, that said, I want to remind you that based on current tax laws and the changes that are ever present, it is my opinion that in addition to asset allocation, that's what kind of investments such as stocks, bonds, and cash that you own, asset location is equally as important. This is about how the money is going to be taxed when you access it. I remind you that it is different for everyone, going back to that tax advisor issue, but in many cases, I would recommend that your assets be located in taxable, tax-free, and tax-deferred investments. These all have their place and their pros and cons. We'll discuss them in your planning meetings. Okay, today I want to talk about Roth IRAs. First, this is a big deal as we'll examine the planning opportunities to not only start your own Roth IRAs, but also convert your existing traditional IRAs to Roth IRAs during your lifetime as a planning tool. This is most often a taxable event, so it is a big deal to examine this in the planning conversation we're going to have. In addition to this, as this Roth IRA grows, the question of inherited Roth IRAs comes up. I've spoken a lot about inherited IRAs and the new 10-year rule. I'll save more on the traditional IRA thoughts for another time. Today, I want to think about the inherited Roth IRA. Let's set the stage with a few facts about the Roth, then a few facts about the tax issues, and then a few ideas for planning opportunities that we should discuss with the oversight of your tax advisor. First, the facts. Remember that the Roth IRA is funded after taxes have been paid on the money. There's no tax deduction for the contribution. The idea behind this, when Senators Roth and Packwood introduced this in '89 and then it entered the tax code in 1997, was that the money invested in the Roth IRA would grow tax-free and be available for tax-free withdrawals as long as certain requirements were met. That's 5 years invested and post 59 and a half years old. There are also no required minimum distribution requirements for the Roth IRA in most cases. This is just logical. Remember, the main reason there are required distributions is to bring the tax-deferred money into taxable status for the government cash flow. With the Roth, there's no tax due, so no reason to push for the RMD. For the inherited Roth IRA, though, there is a requirement for withdrawals. I'll tell you that according to the IRS website, quote, generally, inherited Roth IRA accounts are subject to the same RMD requirements as inherited traditional IRA accounts, close quote. This is different than a lot of what's written out there, and this is where we will require your tax advisor to make that final determination for you. This has been unclear. There has been some unclear nature of this in the IRS rules, but the quote I just gave you gives us the general rule to go by. Regardless of if there is annual RMDs or just the fact that all of the money will need to be taken out by December 31st of the 10th year after the death of the original owner, the idea is the same. And this is the point I want to make today and review in our planning. Since the money in the Roth IRA will grow tax-free, as long as the requirements I mentioned before are met, as much of it as possible should remain in that wrapper as a general rule as long as you can until you have to take it out, as this will allow that money to grow. And when you take it out, all of that money will be tax-free for distribution. This brings up one more item for today, the information I just discussed, especially the 10-year distribution requirement that came about from the Secure Act 2.0, which I'm sure you've heard me reference a dozen times. This 10-year method is allowable for eligible designated beneficiaries. That is those who are named as beneficiaries on the account itself. Now, this is another thing you've heard me harp on many, many, many times, and I will again. Please check your beneficiaries. If you want to rely on the it'll go to my estate thought, here's one specific example where that will have an adverse effect on your estate plan. If you are a designated beneficiary, you have until the end of the 10th year. That's the 10-year method. If instead you inherit the Roth IRA from an estate or a non-qualified trust, in this case, the beneficiary has to take the money out in 5 years, not 10. So as you can see, as with most of the tax planning that we do within your financial plan, this is rarely simple. That's why I urge you to engage me with your tax advisor to come up with the best plan for you. Let's wrap up for today. I want to give one more reminder that speaking of RMDs today, Rebecca, my father, and myself will be in touch with all of the RMD information for year end. We're already getting deeper into Q4, For everyone's sake, we will try to get this off your to-do list soon. Please come back and check out the Monday market update. It may be the last one from the on location here in Israel for a while, but there has been a lot going on this week, so please come back and check that out. Next, we'll be back on Friday with another planning video as well. Have a great weekend and stay safe.